Hello, welcome to Teach Me Floristry on Facebook. I'm just going to show you a few tips with the carnations. It's Valentine's Day. We've just been shopping. He said, what would you like? I said, carnations. So here we are. Now often when you see carnations, you may see them open like this and you think, well, how old are they? The secret is, if you turn them round and if you just squeeze underneath, if that's quite firm, they're fresh. There's a definite difference to if they're older ones, perhaps 1 or 2 weeks old. It's a lot softer underneath. You don't have to grip it very tightly, you can just feel it. Now when you see carnations, if you see them open like this, you may think they've had them quite a while. By squeezing, you know, different. However, if you want to open carnations, if you're making an arrangement and they are, oh, there's a good one to show you, quite tight and you need that more open, there is a little trick. And the trick is, under here, this is called the calyx. If you press all these dimples in, can you see how that's curved that way? That's when the bud was tight and we need to open that out. And the easy way to do this, if you just keep pressing all these dimples until they go outwards, then all you do, you hold the calyx and you can just brush it. And because you've made that resistance easier by folding those back, you can open the carnation. Now you've got an open carnation, and that isn't any older than that one, all the same age. It's just you can fluff them to open them out. I'll just quickly show you that again. This one, you can see that it's already started naturally, so we just press those in and they will just simply fold back on their own. Come on, little fella, there we go. And then you just can brush them gently and you've opened your carnations. Put those to one side. Well, I want to talk about spray carnations. Often you hear people say, well, they didn't all open. Well, they won't. Simply because they've only got the energy in that stem to open the buds. And so the ones with colour, they will open. These little ones, very unlikely. And certainly not these very tiny ones. So these with no colour, they probably won't open. That one probably will, as with these other 4. And again, if you bought those and you want them to be a little bit more open for an arrangement, you probably only want to open a couple. So again, you press all those the calyx, the little bits back, and again, you just gently, very gently, just push and push the petals in as well you can, and that carnation, that spray carnation will open for you. So if you were waiting, if you bought some carnations like this and you want to make some little buttonholes or small corsages, just informal ones, just something simple, you might panic because they weren't opening. You can get them to open quicker if you, when you get them. These I've just bought this morning, I haven't done anything with them. Again, I don't know if you remember on the rose one demonstration, cut them in between the nodes. Remember, that's where the energy is. The veins get very tight there and the water finds it difficult to travel up. So if you can cut it in between those nodes, and if you can cut again just to make a little bit more area, and if you place them in warm water and in a warm room, that will help them open quicker. Now I'm just going to show you that on the plants, on the stems rather, move these over to show you. There are lots of cuttings and these are very easy. Just pull them back on themselves, as many as you like. I like to just pull them all off if it's a colour I like. You can pull them all off. I won't do all of these, all the stems there. Have yourself some compost. I would push it down a little bit. Now with the carnations, I would just take some of the little leaves off the sides, and you just push them in deep. So I'd probably take the lower 4 leaves off. This is just general purpose compost. It has got a little bit of grit in it. And you want to push them quite deep. You don't want them drying out. And what I would do is I would stand this in a little saucer with some water in it. And you can either leave them on the windowsill if you want them to root, or I just tend to leave them outside. So there we go. You keep going until you fill the pot, or as many as you want. I would put a little bit of water on the top, but mainly I'll make sure there's a dish underneath, so they can sit in a little shallow dish. Make sure that's full of water, and that means that the water will go up and sort of evaporate and get sucked up by the compost, rather than keep the top soaking wet. It takes about 6 weeks. I'd leave them a couple of months in there until you can see the new shoots, and then personally I would plant the whole pot in one place in the garden, and put a couple of canes around it. I keep chickens, so I'd have to put a little bit of netting around it, stop them eating them and digging them up. But once they get going, by the end of the summer, you might even get a couple of little flowers off them, but next year you will have lots of flowers off them. So there you go, a few more tips from Teach Me Floristry. Remember, you can find us on Facebook.